Hey, everybody, you're going to want to listen all the way through this episode because we are talking Grammys and we're going to go over the last 25 years of one of the coolest categories of that show.
We're also going to tell you why Janelle Monáe is absolutely hot sauce. That's
Oh my God.
so hot sauce. Enjoy the show, everyone.
Well, hey. Trying to mix it up
Did you mix it up?
because that's how I talk in the real life. I thought, let's bring that to the 90s now table. Hey. It's my inner Taylor Swift, fresh off watching the Grammys, and Taylor was ever present as usual.
Yep.
So that's why I'm starting that way. So Grammys were handed out last night. We're going to talk about that. We're going to look back on at least the last 25 years of Best New Artist to see if any of the names are still familiar.
Hmm.
Also, if we have the time to spotlight a bit of a chat that you and I got to have recently, we'll do that.
Hmm.
Also, Kelly's trivia will make you feel either like the smartest person in the room or dumb as wood.
I thought you were going to say, or I should take a vow of silence.
Either way, wood is silent.
Yeah.
We'll also do a 90s rewind that'll push the end of our favorite decade.
Yeah.
But let's go to the Grammys, shall we? Fresh off that, what I thought was an incredible show.
Hmm.
I thought we should start there.
Thank you. I know that as people watch this, it will have been several days because we were recording this fairly early on in the week.
But
Uh,
maybe they PVR'd it and just are
Maybe
watching it
like
now.
I did because I actually had a bit of a high school reunion last night.
Fun.
So yeah, and I have to say I'm very proud. So I'm still here in Montreal. Another friend of mine also in Montreal area. But then it all worked out where a friend of ours from who now lives in British Columbia, she was going to be in town, and she overlapped by one day with a friend of ours who lives in Portland, Maine.
Oh, wow.
And another friend who drove in from the townships, which is like a 2 hour drive. So we all were able to meet together for one night only. And
Ah,
what was crazy is a couple of them hadn't seen each other in at least 17 years, like in person.
nice.
Yeah, so it was really amazing. And I was so funny because I was talking to my better half recently. She was trying to organize, well, a bunch of them were trying to organize something, and they all live in the same city, and it took forever to get this worked out. And like we worked out five different people in like different countries and provinces
Yeah,
within an hour. It was worked out. It was like, we're meeting here
amazing.
on this date at this time, and it's happening. And it
That's the
happened.
magic of that stuff too, right? Like,
Yep.
best laid plans. Who knows what happens with those?
Hmm.
Life gets in the way sometimes, but like magically, yes, let's go.
Yeah, it was
That's
amazing. And
cool.
so, anyways, all that to say is that I also had to PBR. So I was able to catch the tail end of the Grammys, and obviously I saw some clips, and I also have like I'm excited to watch certain performances. So, but
Oh
we'll
my
go with you,
gosh.
Sharon. What was your favorite performance?
Out of the gate, because I had something last night too. I had to be out of the house, so I did PVR and I watched it this afternoon. But I had seen a bit, so going into um going into watching it today, I don't know if I could pick a favorite, but I want to be friends with Janelle Monáe.
Oh, yeah.
OMG.
Yeah.
OM Janae.
Yeah.
Janelle. Um, Incredible. She was incredible.
Yeah.
Just that.
I
Oh,
saw that performance too. That was I got home and I think I had 15 minutes before she hit the stage, and well, all of it, like, which we'll talk about in a second, but she was really channeling some MJ there, even down to the shoes and the shiny socks.
and the maneuvers, man. She had the moves.
Yeah.
And she was locked in. You could tell that this was it, you
Yeah.
know?
I went to see her. I think it's already 2 summers ago now, since she came, or maybe it would have been a year. I guess it was a year. I think she came in the fall of 23
Hmm.
and here in Montreal and at M Telus, and it was
I should
just
have gone.
next level magic. And it's even kind of interesting to think that she was, because MTELUS is big, but not big enough, you'd think.
Hmm.
So I don't
Yeah.
know, but like, the next time to me she comes, for sure she should be at the Bell Center or at the very least Place Bell.
Yes.
It's an intimate show though. Like it was cool. And it was funny even watching her doing the Michael Jackson homage thing was the outfit, the costume was obviously very Michael Jackson, but it was also very Janelle Monáe. Like
Yeah.
it was very tailored to Janelle Monáe's style.
Yeah.
So it was very cool.
And then, so watching the show from the beginning, all the performances were fantastic. Sabrina Carpenter continues to, I think, do a really good job of owning her moment
Hmm.
without being overconfident. She's got the right amount of confidence and the right amount of humor.
Yeah.
I think that she's making, pardon my dog here. He's looking for
Looking for
treats,
notice.
looking for treats in all the wrong places. Um, just the idea that I don't see any, and maybe I didn't want to see any, but I'm not seeing cattiness
Yeah.
or like I see supportive people in these categories,
Yeah.
in all the categories and categories of music, um, that it's nice.
Hmm.
So, you know, you think back to years ago when Taylor Swift would win and she'd have that like faux surprise of that, you know what I mean? That sort
Yeah.
of that irked me a little bit.
Yeah.
Now it seems like she is genuinely happy when somebody else wins.
Right.
And I'm prepared to be wrong.
Mm.
Maybe she always was genuinely happy and the rest of us have just lost a jaded edge, like you could just be oh wow, you can just be happy and it not look fake.
Yeah.
Maybe because she was the only one that looked like she was doing it that it didn't come off as sincerely as it should have, and that's not on her,
Mhm.
that's on me.
Who was it a few years ago? And I can't remember if this is the Grammys or the American Music Awards, but Nicki Minaj was mad at somebody. And I think it was Cardi B. Uh,
Probably.
but there was like a face she even made on the stage at that award show. And I remember, I think Miley Cyrus kind of got caught in the middle of it because I think Miley was hosting that show or and I just remember like I'm like we don't need this and now like again I don't think they're best buds by any stretch. I don't even know if they've buried the hatchet, but it's nice to see the pop girls uh getting along and being very supportive and even like we've talked about before like where Katy Perry, Taylor Swift like they're very supportive of the come ups that are in it
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
like of Chapel Roan and like all that and I think it's such a great vibe to know like all these women and guys like support each other. Like I
Yeah.
just think it's amazing and it's such especially with what the tone had to be because of the wildfire
Mm-hmm.
that I thought, it was great to see the city where most of these artists now live,
Yeah.
coming together to support their community. So,
That was really cool too. I thought that the whole vibe of loving LA and supporting the city, and that was strong. I mean, to Janelle's outfit of whipping her jacket open and having that cut off of, I Heart LA.
yeah.
Um, and as far as owning moments go, uh, Chapel Roan performing was incredible.
Mm,
And to see when they flash to the audience to see other people singing along, like a Janelle Monáe or a Taylor Swift or a
yeah.
whoever. Alicia Keys, I think, was singing along at one point too. You can't deny the power of that kind of a pop sensation, which she is.
Yeah.
Then, not to spoil the surprise for anybody, but you are listening this many days later, so you know that there's probably going to be some conclusive statements about who won what. But for Chapel Roan to have won Best New Artist, and in her thank you or her acceptance speech,
Yeah.
calling out all record companies and record labels to support the artists that give them their all,
Yeah.
just as far as a basic earning wage
Yeah.
and medical coverage. Because she said, she sort of was kind of on her own, like on an island, let's say, during the pandemic.
Mhm.
She said, I've given them everything and no one has my back. So, and she couldn't get a job and et cetera to sort of support herself in that way. So I thought, good for you. Old school people that would have done that in, let's say, 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago in that window and further, that would have been it for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think she's recognized that you hear this dog?
Yeah. He's on fire today.
He's looking for it. Literally. I don't have it, but he's truly looking for it. That they would have been blackballed. That would have been
Yes.
it. Oh yeah, you're going to speak out on us? You're not going to get any shows. You're not going to get any,
Yeah.
you know, uh, presence on this chart or representation here, or extra promotion here where, it's just I think the level of honesty and forthrightness that artists have now is just.
And I
And I'm
think
happy that they're doing it.
And I think a big part of that is because they're social media platforms now. So this is the good part of social media where
Yeah.
they have the power to connect with their fans directly now. It's not through publicists unless they want
Yeah.
to, obviously. Like they can literally say, "Hey, like, I spoke out last night and guess what? My record label's not like that's not going to go over well." Like
Nope.
and said record label might be blackballed by the fans or like
Yeah.
and like you don't want fans to go off, right? Because when they go off, they can really,
Oh yeah.
cause a stir. I've even seen that in the soap opera world where like fans have really got behind in a good way to like save a show or and that's even in sitcom land. I think they've had the power. So
Hmm.
yeah, I think the fact that social media numbers are so strong for these big artists, like they can say what they want within reason. Uh and that's it. Like that's
Well,
the
it's like the power is where it should be.
yeah,
The artist that brings you the art that you are commercializing and making money off of, they should be more than just considered,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah,
And you're right, it is the positive side of social media. So good for them for using it.
yeah.
Um,
And it was funny because I was looking over the best new artist nominees today, even though obviously we know who won, but that was such a strong category also.
Best new artist. Oh my gosh. And the way that they presented them. So the ones that didn't perform in the cluster of performances. So Chapel and Sabrina Carpenter had performed. And there was that other group whose name I can't pronounce, but there's always one, eh? There's
Yeah.
always, that was my Canada showing, by the way. There's always one, eh? There's always one group that is justified being there. They're a new artist, and we may not have heard of them before, and that's fine.
Yeah.
They're pretty chill. Again, I don't remember their name or how to pronounce it, so I apologize. Um, so then to have Dochi and Teddy Swims and Shabuzi and Ray, all of whom I love. Benson Boone, hey, flirting with J Lo much? And then pulling off your tuxedo because it's a tearaway outfit, just like Sabrina Carpenter did in the beginning. What is happening here? Then he's leaping off the piano and doing a flip and landing it and then
Yeah.
doing another flip later. It was so incredible to watch the whole thing. So to go from one artist to the next, I thought was really great because it showcased this popular music
Yeah.
done by new artists that have already, you know, put their mark on things. It was incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. And what's your thoughts on Miss Beyonce?
Beyonce, I love that she was so surprised.
Yeah, she legitimately looks surprised.
And you could tell by her speech she won for best country album for Cowboy Carter, which is very good,
Yeah.
but it's not without its criticisms from whoever,
Yeah. Mm,
I love that she called out genres have a way of keeping you in one place, and that's not what art is. I love that she said that. Um, what I thought was also noticeable was the distance between her and her husband.
oh, I didn't notice that.
I did.
Okay.
I don't know. It just, and unless it was just because she was stunned, it just looked like he leaned in and said something, but I don't know. You see all the other people hugging their people. There didn't seem to be as much of an embrace. But again, none of my business. I don't know that I was looking for it, but I think the great takeaway was how surprised she was, and that she had just announced her tour. So winning for this album will help that tour. Not like she needed it, but
Yeah.
just good timing. B.
What's sad though about that is I saw the dates. There's only like 8 of them.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's like and I don't know. I don't even know if in the 8 if I saw any overseas, but it's like Los Angeles, Houston of course for her, Atlanta. I don't even think Toronto's on that list this time. New York. There's only like if you just Google it, it's like yeah, there's like 7 or 8 names and that's it. And I don't even know if one of them I don't remember if one of them was Paris. Like, I'm not sure if they announced any European, but I remember like I'm like, oh, this is spot dates. Like this is not.
Wow. Okay. Well, and I mean, that's still a tour because she's
Yeah,
touring from one place to the next. It's just not like
yeah.
it's not a world tour.
It's not the Renaissance, but I don't know if she's still, because that was such a massive undertaking also, like Renaissance. And as we know, our little Adam went to see it. Was it two? It was for sure two times, and it might have been three.
Surprised he came back.
Yeah, exactly. Wait, where is he?
Oh, that's true. He's not actually back.
He's not back yet. So yeah, I don't know. But I think and now the kids are like the twins are 7, Blue Ivy's 13, who by the way was with her last night, as you know.
She
And
looked like older than 13.
she looks like she's 18.
Yeah, at least that. Yeah,
And she really is the spitting image of each of them equally.
agreed. Yep,
It's
I agree with you.
crazy. So yeah, so it was really cool to see her, and to see her get album of the year finally was also amazing.
Yeah, good
Yeah,
for her.
just
You
so
can tell that everybody again, it goes back to everybody being supportive of music, period, but fans of the artist, and the artists are fans of themselves, of each other rather.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I like that support.
yeah.
It's positive.
Because I saw I don't know if it was a clip or an actual still photo of like Lady Gaga looking like she was losing her mind watching Beyonce win. I think it was for the country album. And it was like amazing. But obviously they've done telephone in the past, like they're buds
Right.
also. And yeah, I hope that they come back. And by the way, I know it's not on our scheduled list, but did you see the new video and song for Gaga? She dropped it during the Grammys.
I didn't see it yet.
Oh my God, Sharona, it's called Abracadabra,
Yeah.
and she is back with a vengeance. It is Just Dance slash Poker Face vibes. And
Ooh.
I'm assuming the album will be that, but in a 2025 coat.
Well,
Sick.
isn't that nice? And to come off of a year or a summer of Chapel and a summer of Sabrina, and just that fun vibe, that little reminder of, oh yeah, Gaga.
Yeah, and here
That's what
she,
she does. She's just,
yeah,
I mean, she can do anything she wants, and she does
yeah,
everything well.
yeah.
Right down to platinum blonde eyebrows.
Yeah, well, she like, and like you can see, because obviously now because she announced the album. We knew the album was coming, but we didn't have a date until last week. I think it was Tuesday she announced, Tuesday or
Hmm.
Wednesday. And she has like now the new vibe for the album is out. It's going to be this black kind of witch look she's got going on, like
Yep.
futuristic, whatever. All these crazy hard angles on the hair and like short bangs and like whatever. And like she's like this is like heavy dance music that's coming our way. And when you
Nice.
hear Abracadabra, which I hope everybody who's listening and or watching has checked out, and the music video is sick. It's choreographed by Paris Goebel, who does Rihanna's stuff, and a bunch of other people, obviously. And the video is incredible, like
That
incredible.
is awesome.
Yeah, and Gaga directed it, by the way, with Paris Goebel and somebody else. So yeah,
Well, Gaga also did a great performance with Bruno Mars after one of the montages of the wildfires in LA, which, I mean, also coming off the concert from last week, the Fire Aid concert that
it's
was broadcast on many different platforms. To see, like, the footage is stunning, literally like stop you in your steps. So they were showing some other stuff last night during the Grammys, and then Bruno Mars and Lady Gaga did California Dreamin', which was just properly respectful. It just sounded so good. That was another, I think, another highlight. Like, there was a lot of highlights last night at the Grammys. Another, we talked about Janelle Monáe, and that was part of the Quincy Jones tribute, all of which was really good. I thought that it was that Will Smith had a lot of time on the Grammys
they
for.
made it about him a lot.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what he does. I mean, he's very talented. His music is very good. I think that the behavior has since cast an interesting shadow on the great music.
Mhm.
Um, but then you're watching it sort of critically, like, you're still talking, and it's kind of about you, you know?
I I found when I was watching him go on, because he got to go on twice, right? Like there
Hmm.
were two bouts of him making it about himself. And I almost felt like in the moment I was like, your PR people are working with the Grammys to try to rehabilitate
Oh
your
yeah,
situation.
100%.
Because you're coming out now with new music or whatever,
Yeah.
and now I think he's done the apology tour already. And so now it's like they're trying to reshape the narrative, but it
Yeah.
was so like it was because I think it would have been more impactful had he just come on and been like, Quincy Jones gave me my start, well, and then all about Quincy and like never to
Yeah.
hear about Will again because
Yep.
we don't. I mean, even the little story about the craft services that was okay.
Yeah.
I think that was,
Yep.
but then it should have been, and
But just that, like you can make it just that story.
yeah, yeah, because it was really like it was I really it sat sideways with me. It didn't sit well. It didn't.
Yeah, well, I think the interesting thing based on what we've been discussing so far is that there's an authenticity to the artists now that when you see something as contrived as Will Smith, with a new album, with a tarnished reputation, trying to make a comeback, that's so old school to have that, well, we'll help you by putting you on the Grammys or putting you on an award show and we'll help your image because you've got this new album. So this is a good time for you. It just the contrived element of it insults the authenticity of the rest
Yes.
of the show.
Yeah, exactly. Because
But
I do not agree with what went down at the Oscars a
me
couple of years
neither.
ago. I've always thought Will though is a good guy, and very positive from what we see. Obviously, I don't know him personally, but yeah, this just felt awkward and not necessary. And I was almost like, who advised you to do it this way? Like,
Yeah. Well, somebody thought it was okay, right?
yeah.
The other thing that was cool, I thought, was the fact that the producer of the show over the last 5 years, the president, not producer of the show, but the president or CEO of the Grammys, basically acknowledging that they were called out by the weekend,
Mhm,
who boycotted them,
mhm.
and then they were able to sort of point out different sections of how they've grown and how they've evolved and what they've done, and then welcome the weekend back to the stage. So I thought that was cool that that artists can take their moment to make a bold move.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like we talked about Chapel Roan and in her acceptance speech, but it's almost like it's part of their job to use their platform to make bold moves. And so the weekend announcing a boycott of the Grammys, but then I think acknowledging growth
Yeah.
on both parts to then come back and be on the show. I thought that was elevated.
Yep.
So good on them. Overall, I thought it was a really great show.
Yep. Yeah. One of the best from what I've seen, and I look forward to actually watching it. One of the best ones I've seen in several years.
Mm-hmm. Now, one thing uh, that is pretty standard with the Grammys is that the best new artist category is always one of the most interesting, and often it's not the pop or popular or most popular person that wins. And for this year's Grammys, it was there was a lot of popular to choose from. So we're going to go back over the course of the last 25 years to see if any of the winners of the Best New Artist Grammy are familiar to us still. But we'll do that, Kelly, after we do some trivia.
Boom. Zing, zing, zing.
Pow, pow.
Uh, art and literature, Sharon, or sport to commence?
Sport to commence.
Who became the first player to hit a home run for his 3,000th career hit in 1999?
Was it that guy? McGuire?
Oh, no.
Dang it.
Oh, what's his name? McGuire. Pete? It wasn't Pete McGuire. Mark
McGuire.
McGuire, wasn't it?
Mark, yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. Did you want to take one more guess? No.
Um, 1999. Can I have the initials?
WB.
Wade Boggs.
There you go, Sharon.
I
Nice. Do you remember what team he played for? I don't remember.
think he's straight. And no, I don't.
You got me there, Sharon. Woo!
Whoop, whoop.
Good job. So art and literature. The
Yes.
perks of being a wallflower is written from the first person perspective of which character?
Oh, I don't know this.
You do
I
not?
think I don't no, I don't think I do. And yet I'm going to hear the answer and go, I knew that.
Did you read this book?
No.
Okay. So the perks of being a wallflower is written from the first person perspective of which character? Charlie.
Who's Charlie?
Who would know?
I guess anybody that read the book.
Yeah.
But I
That's
think, and this was 1999, you said?
they didn't give a year.
Oh, sorry. No, 99 was a baseball stat.
Yep.
Well, interesting. I think, yeah, it sounds familiar, but I don't know, man.
The only wallflower thing I know, isn't it the Wallflowers with what's his face, Dylan?
Yeah,
What's his name again?
Jacob.
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 Yeah. Are they still a thing? Like, do they still perform?
Yeah, it's funny. I just read an article today about or a link or something about the best covers that the Wallflowers have done.
Oh, okay. It's a good name. I've always thought the name was cool.
Oh, yeah. And he's very much like, I find he looks like his dad.
Hmm.
Very recognizable as a Dylan, let's say,
Yep.
or as a Bob Dylan descendant. There
There's that.
is that indeed. Have you seen that movie yet?
Uh,
The Bob
no, but I
Dylan.
want to with
Me
Timothy
too.
Chalamet.
Yes.
Did you know that
Very.
he got to put on, I just talked about this on my radio program, because Bob Dylan by no stretch is not a large man.
Oh,
Uh, but Timothy is so tiny that he had to put on 20 pounds to play the role.
I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah.
He's a slender young man.
Yeah, and then he said that it's really affected his career in the past. Obviously, now I'm sure people are clamoring to have him on board anything, but I think he tried out for a couple of movies and he said he was told you do not have the right body type. Like, forget it. So,
Imagine though. Hey, he gained weight. We
yeah.
could get him for this one.
Yeah.
He's really shown his strength by gaining weight.
Yeah.
Said no one ever
Yeah.
about an actress, you know? Oh my gosh, this young man has gained weight. Let's have a party. Let's give him an Oscar nominated role in a film.
Ah, the double standards.
Double standardo.
Yeah.
Okay, so how about this? I've got the article open here.
Yeah.
We're going on the last 25 years of Best New Artist winners of the Grammy. And so this year it was Chapel, right?
Hmm.
So good for her. I can't imagine we'll ever not know her name.
Yeah.
Um, I think one of the most interesting of the ones that we didn't know, the standout would be Esperanza Spalding.
Yeah, because she beat Bieber and Drake, right? I think that year.
Right. Yes. And I think that was when the Grammys were still doing their thing. The Grammys were very much the Grammys, and the American Music Awards were the American Music Awards, and the AMAs were very pop driven,
Yeah.
sales driven, and that's what they are. Like this is the reflection of what is sold, and the Grammys were always, production value and the art of it versus the commerce of it.
Mhm.
Both work, and both pay the bills. Well, the commerce of it pays more bills.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so that would have been at a time where I think it stood out somewhat sore thumb like that a Justin Bieber was nominated for a Grammy in a way that was contrary to what the Grammys were doing. But
Yeah.
look at us now.
Look at us now.
So yeah, Esperanza Spalding. I scrolled past it too far, but we'll get to her in a second. To start off the 2000s, though, the first winner in 2000 for the Best New Artist was Christina Aguilera.
No surprise there.
No surprise there. And we know, of course, that she is a powerhouse.
Mhm.
Still, following her was Shelby Lynn,
Yeah.
who just released a new album last year after saying that she got sober 2 years before that. So that's good for her. She just had, man, and by the time she won the Best New Artist award, she had already had a bunch of albums out. She'd been in the business quite a long time, but it's almost like, oh, the Grammys have acknowledged me as a new artist. Wait a minute, I'm not new.
Yeah.
But good for her. She's obviously lived live some life and learn some lessons. Following her was Alicia Keys.
No surprise there. Winning another one last night.
Yeah, and looking great. Um, then Nora Jones,
Hmm.
who is an incredible performer. If you have the chance to ever see her, do it.
Yep.
Evanescence, the group that won the following year, 2004, and Evanescence still making music and still touring.
Yep.
I
And
remember it,
solo stuff, right?
she does do solo stuff, yes, but Evanescence still is a part of. Weren't they just here and didn't they open for who was it? Somebody. I don't remember.
That's fair.
Anyways, that's fair. They're earning their keep.
Yeah.
Pardon me. Um, Interesting. I interviewed her. She was 21 at the time of that album coming out that had Bring Me to Life on it, and she was far beyond her 21 years as far as wisdom and a real grasp on what she was doing. So that was nice to see. Maroon 5 in 2005. Now we know that Adam Levine is making his return to The Voice.
Hmm.
It's kind of cool. Also on The Voice, John Legend, and he's the one that won the following year in 2006.
And he's a EGOT winner.
He is an EGOT. Your
Yep.
Emmys, your Grammys, your Oscars, and your Tonys. It's
Seriously.
funny, eh? It's almost more impressive to say the award name, all of the names of the awards, than it is to say EGOT.
Yeah.
But we do. Carrie Underwood in 2007. On to Amy Winehouse in 2008.
Love the Amy.
Oh my gosh, what an inspiration she was. You can see the inspiration on an artist like a Ray,
Mhm.
um, Adele, who made it clear that she was an inspiration. And sadly, she has since passed. She sadly joined the 27 Club in 2011. Those are the artists that died at the age of 27. And then Adele followed the Best New Artist list in 2009.
Mhm.
Zach Brown Band still doing their thing. They were in 2010. Esperanza Spalding was 2011. Bon Iver in 2012. Esperanza Spalding, I thought it was interesting that she had done some teaching,
Mhm.
working as a professor. And then the picture that they have for Bon Iver, I thought, well, he looks like a teacher.
You're not wrong.
No. Fun, the group Fun. If you've seen Pink in concert, um, she does a duet with Nate Ruess. Just give me a reason, right?
Yeah.
And she sings to the video of it.
Oh, okay.
And it's so distracting the way he's singing in that video. I'm fortunate that I've seen it a number of times now. I've seen Pink live a number of times. And when the video comes up, he just over enunciates when he's singing. So I love you, and the tongue comes out. It's distracting, honestly, because I would be singing along, going, "Why didn't they redo it? Why didn't she send it back and say, please keep your tongue in your mouth?" Anyways, interesting that one of the members of Fun, the 2013 winners of the Best New Artist Grammy, is Jack Antonoff, who's doing pretty well for himself, isn't he?
I interviewed him actually, I think it was that year
Oh,
before he
cool.
started working with Taylor, or around the time, whatever. And I remember interviewing him at Osheaga.
Oh, wow.
And then here we are, like where he works with the big guns. And yeah.
He himself a big gun.
Yeah. You know who's giving I don't run for the money. Obviously they're not in competition, but is Dan Nigro, Olivia Rodrigo and Chappell Roan's producer. He won
Oh,
producer
nice.
here at the Grammys this year. So
Very good.
yeah.
There's room for everybody. 2014 for Macklemore and Ryan Lewis as Best New Artists.
Yep.
2015 was Sam Smith. He was but a baby 10 years
It
ago
was. It's crazy.
with an armful of Grammy Awards.
Mhm.
Megan Trainor in 2016, still doing her thing.
Fine.
Chance the Rapper in 2017.
Yep.
I like him. Alessia Cara, is she so far the only Canadian?
Yep.
Wow. I mean, for the
Uh,
past 25 years, she's great.
and she has a new album coming out on Valentine's Day. Love and Hyperbole.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Good for her. Dua Lipa in 2019.
Solid.
Love it. Billie Eilish in 2020. where her hair matched her outfit perfectly, which you don't often get to say when the outfit is green and black.
Yeah.
Megan Thee Stallion in 2021.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Olivia Rodrigo in 2022. And then Samara Joy. For me, she'd be on the same list as Esperanza Spalding.
Yeah.
Obviously, very gifted, um, but it's not often that a jazz vocalist will get their due. But in both of those cases, boom to that. 2024, Victoria Monet, she presented the award, right?
Yeah,
Which is what they're invited back to do.
she's like she's her own thing, but she's
Hmm.
like she's and I don't she's her own thing. But if you needed to compare, she's Sierra now.
Ah, okay.
Even though Sierra is still doing her thing, and
Yeah.
obviously, different artists, but from the impact that Sierra had, like that's what Victoria Monet is doing today. And Sierra is still fierce, as we know. Like she was
Hmm.
amazing on the Missy Elliott tour, and I love Sierra. And Victoria Monet, extremely talented.
Very good.
Yeah.
So that's 25 years of Best New Artist, which is pretty incredible. Update on my dog here, who's in my lap.
Yeah.
If he likes to put his head on my arm, so on the bend there. So
Yep.
if I move to do something on my screen here, his little head comes up and pushes my arm down. So he's doing fine. Don't worry.
Love that.
How about we do a 90s rewind? You ready for that?
Ready.
Well, you'll have to wait a little longer because I think we're going to have to fit a bit of our chat in.
Yes. Did you want to tell them what's happening, Sharon?
Yeah, Kelly and I got to chat with Jan Arden, who's been making music for over 30 years. Canada's very proud of her. She's got a brand new album where she's it's called Mixtape, and she's taken a bunch of songs done by other greats and put some Jan Arden great on them. So we got to talk to her about that.
Jen, we know you're heading out on tour right across the country, which is amazing. I did want to ask you though, and obviously you don't need to be on any kind of group tour, but if you were on like a 90s reunion tour, what other artists would you love to be out on the road with you?
What a hard question that is. I mean, it would be really great to go out with New Kids on the Block, Seal.
Ooh,
My road manager's laughing at that. Desiree would be super fun,
ooh,
and uh, I'd be crazy to not say Celine Dion, wouldn't I?
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a
I
set.
mean, I'd go see that show,
I'd see that show too.
or
Yeah.
I don't know, Boys to Men.
Ooh.
I mean, that'd be kind of nutty. I just that seems like a really crazy drug-induced lineup to me, and I'm all over it.
Super cool, right? We're lucky, Kel. We get to talk to fun people
Love the Janet. We actually haven't done you and I an interview ensemble together
in a while.
in a while, so I was very happy we got that. We should do more. They're fun.
Yeah, I'm down.
Okay.
All right, get on that. Anyways, let's get let's do our 90s rewind and go to the end of our favorite decade back around this time in 1999. The Presence of Angels, present. The Presence of Belief, apparent, and a couple other songs. So Monica with Angel of Mine and Sarah McLachlan with a song for the funerals, Angel. On we go. Another great Canadian, actually, Deborah Cox. Nobody's supposed to be here.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the heart wrench delivery on that one.
The remix capabilities of that song.
Boom. How about Backstreet Boys? And All I Have to Give makes me just want to sing it. I think every single title of Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, 98 Degrees, you see the title and you sing the title.
Yeah,
Um, let's put two powerhouses together, Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey. When you believe, that kind of stuff can happen.
it can.
And when you believe in a legend to introduce to the world the perfecting of notes on a song with auto tune, you go to the legend that is Cher with Believe.
The one and only.
Cher has upped her game yet again. Now with wasn't it Skip the Dishes or no what's she's done a commercial where
Oh, did she? Oh, I didn't even know
oh
that.
yeah, it's really pretty new. But she gets to be Cher making fun of Cher, which I love. It's
Always
not Skip the Dishes because that's Canadian, isn't it?
maybe.
It's the one that come the oh my gosh, like I wish I could remember right now.
DoorDash? No.
No, maybe
No.
it's Amazon. I don't even know. Anyways, cool to see Cher. I mean, we could be talking to a generation of people who don't watch television and wouldn't necessarily, certainly wouldn't watch commercials. Um, but I think it's nice to see her. She knows how to have fun with everything, I think. So good on her. That's your 90s rewind. See, it's nice to rewind and forget why you went there in the first place. Good to be here, wherever here is. I know that we're
That's
going to say
great.
goodbye, and I'm going to remember exactly what it is.
Yeah. It's a classic episode of 90s Now. Yep.
Yeah, exactly that.
Yep. 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 More than enough.
Indeed. So,
Can I mention one last thing? Sorry, just before we
no,
wrap
I don't
up.
think we have time.
Okay.
Just kidding, of
Um,
course.
just a reminder for our 90s Now folks, if you haven't had a chance to check out whether it's audio wise or visually wise through this YouTube channel where you're watching us right now, we've been getting a lot of amazing support for our Madonna team interview. And I say that meaning if you didn't hear on last week's show, we were able to have an interview with Nikki Harris, Donna DeLore, and DJ Tracy Young, who all have worked with Madonna extensively. Tracy won a Grammy with Madonna back in 2019, bringing it as a full circle moment, speaking of the Grammys on this show. And Nikki and Donna, of course, were with Madonna throughout the 80s and the 90s into the 2000s. And it's incredible to see the support from Madonna fans for this interview. So if you love Madonna, you will love this interview. So if you have a chance, please go check it out. And it was cool. It's like some of the comments we're getting on the channel is just like Nikki and Donna are legends themselves, and j'agree. So
Oh, j'agree.
j'agree. So if you have a chance, if you have a chance, either again audio wise, you can find it on the Kelly Alexander Show podcast, or you can watch it visually on this YouTube channel.
Very good. And I'd love to say that I remembered, but anybody that is watching this 90s Now podcast has seen me feverishly typing on my screen to find the answer to what I've forgotten, which is the commercial that Cher has done is for Uber Eats.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. And I think I referenced Avril Lavigne. Hers was completely different. Hers is for Advil.
Okay. Be
Very
a
good.
spokesperson.
Yep.
Yep.
Awesome. So thank you everybody for playing along and for listening and finding us wherever it is that you do that. We appreciate it every single time. Thank you for listening to 90s Now. Still happening.